A couple of miles south of Confederate Highway on South Carolina's Route 601, you'll find Broxton Bridge Plantation. But only if you're looking for it, because it's kind of back in the woods a bit. Well, the folks from Showing Animals Respect and Kindness, better known as Shark, were looking for it, because they wanted to stop a pigeon shooting event by flying over it with a little helicopter drone armed with a video camera. I'm PJTV's Scott Ott, joined now by Bill Whittle and Stephen Green. Well, men, just when the threat of a video flyover seemed to be working and the camera-shy hunters were headed for home, Shark sent the drone aloft anyway. Well, small caliber rifle fire rang out and the drone came down. Now, you can't really tell if it was anti-aircraft projectile damage or if the rotors broke during the hard landing, but Shark says that their drone was brought down by small arms fire and sustained $200 to $300 in damage. Bill Whittle, what was your first thought when you heard this story?
My first thought was, that's some damn fine shooting, Lou. It's not easy to hit a drone that kind of range with a small arms fire. You know, as all the details of this came in, private property, legal activity, all that stuff, I was somewhat relieved. But the fact is, the instant I heard you say on the phone that PETA launched a drone over a pigeon shoot, they shot down the drone, I just said, this is the best news I've heard in weeks and maybe months. This is essentially the essence of the America that I love versus this weenified, wimpified, holier-than-thou, moral superiority, whiny, crybaby, namby-pamby, nanny state D-bagism that is ruining this country. My only regret was that apparently it was an unmanned drone.
Well, Stephen, I know that you and the, can I call them the Green Mountain Boys, have attended a rocket launching or two. Do you think that using these voyeur drones is fair game for animal rights activists trying to protect small game?
Look, we're not just attending rocket launches anymore. We're launching our own, me and my 6-year-old. We haven't tried mounting cameras on any of them, but give us time. But, you know, here's my question. How is Shark, as you just said, protecting small game? They're not protecting anything. They weren't, going to shoot at the shooters. You don't protect anyone or anything with a little $200 drone with a video camera attached. No, they were looking for publicity. Well, they got some publicity. I'd never heard of this Shark outfit until they went and did a dumbass thing like send a drone over a park filled with guys with shotguns and then expect it to come back unharmed. These guys are idiots, mostly
just guys,
harmless idiots.
Southern guys. I love those boys.
Yeah.
Well, over there by Confederate Highway. Well, Bill, they say there's no such thing as bad PR, and Shark actually posted this video online thinking that it would highlight the brutality of the pigeon slaughtering hunters. Will Americans fall prey to this kind of publicity stunt?
First of all, I would like to make a donation and award a trophy to whatever the shooting organization is. That's the first thing I'd like to do. So maybe we can get that information for you. The second thing I would say is that if they want to start an arms race, that's fine with me. Let's get a couple of those little model F-18s, put a couple of BB guns on those guys. Next time they launch a drone, we put up our air cover, no problem. I would also say that standard military policy these days, and has been for quite a long time, is you always shoot the archer, never the arrow, which means that if they continue to send up drones, you should not shoot down the drones. A couple of mortar rounds at the launching site would probably discourage this kind of thing in the future. And finally, I would say to our friends down there in whatever pigeon hunting club that was down off of Confederate Highway in Georgia, you know where there's a lot of pigeons, boys? New York City! That's where there's a lot of pigeons.
Well, Stephen, if people on private property don't enjoy an expectation of privacy and spy gear is getting smaller and more affordable and more mobile by the day, what's the effect on personal liberty?
You know what? Personal liberty is what you defend. You come over my property with a drone and no badge and no warrant. You'd better up-armor your drone. I have a 12 gauge, and I first learned how to shoot trap when I was 10 years old with a little 410. So you better believe I can hit your toy helicopter. And you know what? I'll tell you what, I'll give you a sporting chance. You see these? These are D-class model rocket engines, D-12.5s, I think. And don't ask me how I know this, but I do happen to know that they're powerful enough to carry a couple of old school M80s up to 200 feet or more. So you give me flak, I'll give you flak. How about that?
I'm sure he's done all the theoretical calculations about that little thing on graph paper or something. Anyway, the problem with some of these animal rights activists is their apparent disregard for the rights of a certain viviparous sentient biped. They've declared themselves the arbiters of morality and then subjugated everything else to the pursuit of their animal liberation objectives. They'll break into laboratories and release experimental animals, throw blood on women who wear fur, strip naked in public before young children, and spy on private citizens on private property. With easy access to the tools of espionage and no ethical restraints on their behavior, these domestic terrorists have been unleashed. Therefore, I fully support the hunter's decision to enforce the Broxton Bridge no-fly zone. For Bill Whittle, Stephen Green, and the entire Trifecta crew here at PJTV.com, I'm Scott Ott.